Chamber of Deputies was the name given to several parliamentary bodies in France in the 19th and 20th centuries, 1814 to 1848. During the Bourbon Restoration and the July Monarchy, the Chamber of Deputies was the lower chamber of the French Parliament, elected by census suffrage, 1875 to 1940. During the French Third Republic, the Chamber of Deputies was the legislative assembly of the French Parliament, elected by universal suffrage. When reunited with the French Senate at Versailles, the French Parliament was called the National Assembly and carried out the election of the President of the French Republic. Strictly speaking, députés translates as delegates, but the word is conventionally translated to its etymological cognate députés. The English word deputy, adjoint in French. During the Bourbon Restoration, created by the Charter of 1814 and replacing the corps législatif, which existed under the First French Empire, the Chamber of Deputies was composed of individuals elected by census suffrage. Its role was to discuss laws and, most importantly, to vote taxes. According to the Charter, deputies were elected for 5 years, with 1/5 renewed each year. Deputies needed to be 40 years old and to pay 1,000 francs in direct contributions. Government ministers could be chosen from among the deputies, and this resulted in giving the Restoration government a slight, albeit minor, parliamentary and liberal character. During the 100 Days' return of Napoleon I in 1815, under the terms of the Additional Act to the Constitutions of the Empire, the Chamber of Deputies was briefly replaced by a Chamber of Representatives. This body was dissolved upon the entry of coalition troops into Paris on the 7th of July. For the period 1815 to 1816, the ultra-royalist chamber was referred to as the Chamber Introuvable. During the July Monarchy, the Chamber of Deputies was elected by census suffrage according to the Charter of 1830. The political life of the July Monarchy was defined by the split within the Chamber of Deputies between the progressive movement and the conservative wing. Although both parties traded power in the initial stages, by 1840 the conservative members around François Guizot had seized control. From 1830, deputies were elected for 5 years. They needed to be 30 years old and to pay 500 francs in direct contributions. The king convoked the chamber every year, and he had the power to extend the parliamentary session or to dissolve the chamber, although in the latter case he was required to convoke a new chamber in 3 months' time. In 1852, the Chamber of Deputies retook the name Corps Législatif. During the Third Republic,